Homeland Security experts warn the threat environment in the United States is at an all-time high after the assassination of Charlie Kirk. They point to divisive rhetoric ranging from social media to politicians for potentially fueling acts of violence. Add to that America's enemies spreading disinformation to create even more volatile and dangerous conditions. National security correspondent Burke shows us why this can also directly affect churches and faith-based organizations.
A report from the Family Research Council shows attacks on churches and other institutions have skyrocketed over the last 5 years, and many share one common thread.
The vast majority of those incidents, we have found that the people involved in this activity were motivated by content they saw online.
Counterterrorism expert John Cohen with the Center for Internet Security says religious institutions are frequently targeted by individuals who see violence as their only outlet.
We are a very divided nation, and it's not just that people tend to disagree with each other, but they are increasingly viewing those that disagree with or that they disagree with as the enemy.
Mental and behavioral health issues can also play a role.
We have far too many young people who are from a behavioral health perspective, struggling. They're struggling with their sense of community. They're struggling with their sense of belonging. They feel like they've been treated unfairly in life. And they gradually develop this intense sense of anger.
Cohen says this can cause them to believe their only way to feel value is by either committing suicide or mass murder. A CIS threat analysis found this to be a factor in the recent shooting at Annunciation Catholic School in Minneapolis. Meanwhile, both foreign and domestic adversaries often widen the nation's growing divide through disinformation and encouraging violence.
In most cases, the content is specifically intended to fan the flames and exploit some of the most divisive issues facing the country.
In the wake of Kirk's assassination, CIS reports neo-Nazi groups, anarchists, and Russian state media accounts have all pushed false narratives. While these bad actors often target faith-based institutions, Cohen says this community of believers also has an important role to play.
You know, as we talk about solutions potentially, is working to, in a sense, restore a faith within the young people of this country who, in far too many cases, have come to believe that their life is just not worth living anymore. Another important role that I think our faith leaders can play is to cool some of the divisive rhetoric that has become so prevalent in our society.
When it comes to prevention and protection, Cohen encourages religious institutions to look beyond just physical attacks, as adversaries are using digital espionage to specifically target systems like websites, event calendars, and other sensitive data. Burke, CBN News, Washington.
The voice of the church certainly needed here. Andrew and Terry.
Thanks, Ephraim. John Cohen really summarized it well, that disagreement now equates to an enemy. And then you have this perfect storm with disinformation to inflame people, and then a mental health crisis. That's why it does call on leaders to tamper things down, and we saw that so beautifully by Erica yesterday.
You know, there seems to be so much willingness to engage in character defamation with lies. It's not just the violence, it's being willing to destroy someone's person, someone's, visible role in society just for our own gain. I mean, we have to, that's a conscience thing. That's something that's in our hearts and our minds by our, whatever our moral character might be. And so without that, if you take that away, disagreement does become, very, very active. And in addition to that, can I just say, I think in the process of all of this, we always leap to gun control, but I hope we can talk some and look some into mental health issues. I mean, it's a broken system for parents who have kids that are struggling. Where do you go? We really need to address it.
And certainly Charlie Kirk was a man who looked forward to engaging and discussing these topics. And the takeaway, that service yesterday, many hours long, the worship prior to the start was just gorgeous and revival happening. But the takeaway has got to be Erica saying she forgives. Forgives the man who assassinated her husband. And Terry and I just touched on it briefly during a break, Marco Rubio yesterday, a succinct and powerful gospel message.
Yes,
wow.
yes. The whole day was like that, really. I mean, I think we all marveled and were caught up in how many people traveled, took time out from their schedules, went there to honor this man and what he stood for. And so it was quite remarkable to watch it all unfold as beautifully as it did.